Hey, good night, good evening. This is Pixelia here. I'm here with my man Iceyy, the Iceyy himself, DG's finest jewel. How are you doing, my man? How's everything going today? Thank you for being here.
I am doing great, man. You have energized me. You've gotten me hyped up. I'm so excited. Congratulations on your show. I love what you're doing, and I'm hyped to be here.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that because it's an honor to have you here. Uh, you were in my manifestation book for people to have on this, and it's working just fine. Uh, as this closes, like I think like every person I wrote on that book has been interviewed this season, so I'm gonna end this season very happy and also very excited about what's
Yeah.
gonna happen tomorrow in Miami. You have an amazing thing dropping tomorrow, something you've been working on like hard and consistently
Yeah.
for a while. But before we jump in there, I want us to just not rush into things and go go where things need to go in the beginning. So let's start by the beginning.
Let's do it.
My first question always is the same, Icy. How was it that someone like you came to acquire its first cryptocurrency, and how was the journey that led you to the Central End? Uh,
Yeah.
how is that
Great.
thing?
Such a great question, Pixelia. So I've discovered cryptocurrency back in 2017. I ran in like these, entrepreneurial online marketing business communities. And I just saw a lot of my friends talking about Bitcoin. Actually, I first learned about Bitcoin in 2013. I had some poker
Mm.
buddies that were I was hanging out with them one night, and they were complaining because Bitcoin just ran from $30 to like $200, and they're like, oh man, like we should have bought, like, it's so high now, we can't get in now.
They
And
knew nothing.
I knew nothing about it. I didn't have money back then, so I'm like, I knew nothing about investing, but I learned about it back then. And then in 2017, when it started, like about a lot of my friends were talking about it, I watched it go from like 1K to 2K, and I was like, oh man, like I could have doubled my money. And then it went from 2K to 4K, and I'm like, oh man, I could have doubled my money again. Like,
I missed again.
I need to get into this. So I think I bought, like, I signed up for Coinbase. I bought like $200 or $400 or something like that of Bitcoin at like 4K, and it went up, obviously to like 6K, 7K, and I'm like, this is great, like this is amazing. But through that, I started learning more about why Bitcoin existed. I read the white paper, and what it was, striving to do, and I just fell in love. I fell in love with the ideas and the ideals of decentralization, of giving power back to the people, democratizing, finance. So I've been in since 2017, but then, kind of went through the lull, rode that roller coaster of the 2017 hype cycle and crash.
Mhm.
It was quiet 2018, 2019, all that, wasn't really paying too much attention. Came back in for 2020, rode that whole DeFi summer. Was very much in the DeFi, degen, food, Ponzi, coins, and all that stuff.
Pancake
Uh,
swap,
yeah,
extravaganza.
yeah. And then, so I was a moderator in this like private Discord, just like trying to network and level up with people. And someone had posted Chris K's video on ice poker, and we all like got really into ice poker. I'm a poker player. I have a background, I've played since I was a kid. And that was the first thing that like really clicked for me with NFTs. Like I had some NFTs, but like they're just, JPEGs, right? But this one that you needed, that was a wearable in Decentraland. So it
To play
had like
poker.
this whole fashion and culture like utility to it, as well as like needing it to go up to the table and play. So I tried it out. Because there was all this hype about it. And I logged into Decentraland. I think I was like delegated. Like one of my buddies bought one and he was delegated. So I tried it out, and my computer sucked at the time. So it wasn't very good. But like I was still very impressed with going up to the table, seeing the virtual cards come up and be able to click buttons in this like metaverse-esque environment and play poker with like a wearable, you know, an NFT. So I've just been hooked since then. And that's how I got introduced to DCL.
So basically, DCL and the Central Games were like the first what happened at the same moment for you,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope because I've told this many times. Like my first interaction with the Central and suck balls. Like I had no idea what to do. Like I was just running around Genesis Plaza, and I'm like, "Whoa, this is small." Like,
Yeah.
why would anybody want to come here? This is like the smallest game ever. And I'm like, don't. You're in the Central Plaza, dude.
Yeah.
You really need to run around.
It's so funny, man. I didn't leave the casino for probably like the first 4 or 5 months of my time in Decentraland. And then I made friends in Decentraland and they're like, oh, you got to check out, you know, this obstacle course, or hey, there's this party going on over here. So that's when I really started to branch out. But like in true like degen fashion, man, I found the casino and then like didn't leave.
like just like down the rabbit hole right away.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hi, nice to meet you guys all. Like, my name is Iceyy, and I'm here for the poker.
Exactly.
Hey, my name is Miles. I'm founding the Central Games.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Exactly.
No, dude, that's amazing. Um, so talk to me about your content creation journey, like because
Yeah.
like if like correct me if I'm wrong at any point, but if you jumped into the Central and landed right into the Central Games,
Mm-hmm.
based on what I've seen on you know on your Twitter and my background check on you a little bit, I would assume that you dove right into content creating for the Central Games then, right?
Yeah, I did. So the idea behind that was I've always been a little entrepreneurial. I've always ran in these like online marketing circles. That's what I was doing, you know, in my real life, you know, digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I saw the power of creating content, being, you know, streaming, you know, leveraging the internet. Really, the idea was to just like leveraging the internet to, you know, do something. So I always wanted to
In
do
your
some.
office, yeah,
Yeah. So I always wanted to do something on the internet, but I never knew what I wanted to do.
okay.
And, uh, you know, so I found Decentral Games and Ice Poker and Decentraland, and I was like, I saw like, you know, what happened with Iceyy, right? A lot of people like came into Iceyy, and you know, were these delegates or whatnot, or these scholars, and
Mm-hmm.
so I saw that happening for Ice Poker. So I was like, hey, like I've played, you know, a decade plus of poker. I imagine there's a lot of these people coming into the ecosystem that aren't very familiar with, you know, poker and these like advanced concepts. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool if I'm going to play ice poker anyways, I
I'm
might
sorry.
I might as well stream it and I can help other people learn poker and succeed, because that's the nice thing about ice poker and Decentral Games is that like we're all playing to like, yeah, we're playing against each other a little bit, but really we're just playing to complete our challenges
Yeah, to
and
get the ice.
to get the ice. So, you know, like I'm more than happy to help educate people and help them become better poker players so that they can, you know, quote unquote beat ice poker. So that was it, man. I
I am
wanted
one of your users, by the way. Like I have been benefited from the IC
yeah,
poker lessons.
that means the world to me, man.
I've come to suck to mildly suck.
Hey, bro, that's the journey of a poker player, man. I mean, I've been playing for over 10 years and there's still, you know, many times in situations where I suck. That's the beauty of the game, but also like the curse of the game. So it's just a fun game that I love and I wanted to share. And yeah, I was like, hey, I can stream. Maybe there's an audience for this because people are playing the game anyways. So if they're playing, they can hang out with me, we can play together, and I can help people get better.
That's dope. Like this, like like if we were to build a timeline, this would be starting or beginning around 2020. right?
No, so it's funny that you asked that, man. I think my 1 year anniversary of streaming, buying a camera and having my first stream is like literally in 2 days. I think January 20th or the 21st was my was the day that I started streaming.
You're fucking with me, like for real.
No, yeah. So we're basically on the anniversary. I've been doing it for
You're
one
like
year.
you're like I thought you were Master Icy, and like you're like 1 month older.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can go look at the clips on my channel, man. My
Uh,
camera quality's bad, the audio's bad, my background is different, it's bad. So yeah, we've grown a lot in this time.
no, I've seen the growth, and I don't know if you recall this, but and I don't know if you see the quality of like my lighting and shit, but since we had our conversation on your setup, my setup improved. Like
I love it.
it's slowly improving because I'm also learning to like the streamer side
Yeah.
of this. Like I told you this, like I subscribe Twitch to join your channel, to join Ray's channel, to
Yeah.
join Billy T Coin's channel.
Yeah.
Like I am subscribed to 4 people. That's it.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So that's basically my like I'm not so diving into that like you. I would say because I this is not like I'm not working 100% of my time in Web3.
Yeah.
I also have a full-time job, and this is just like a passion slash hobby slash second job.
But I love that, man. I just let's make that point because anyone that's listening and watching needs to hear that. This is what it's all about, man. I started the exact same way as you, and now you're doing it. And the opportunity for people to do this and just build or create something it's a beautiful thing. It's an incredible thing. So kudos to you for taking up the reins and putting yourself out there and creating content that we all get to enjoy. Now I'm here. I'm loving it and enjoying it. And if everybody does this, or the more people that do that, the more that we all build, the more that we all grow, the more that we all support each other. I don't want to like sound cliche or corny, but like, the better that the world becomes, right? Like I'm big on making positivity louder. So
As long as we set a good example while doing it,
yeah,
you know,
but you are setting a good example, right?
that's the goal.
You're
You know,
doing it for the right reasons and you're doing a good job. So anyone that like wants to do something, please do it. Just try it, right? It's gonna be bad at first. That's okay. It's about getting better over time slowly, and that's what you're doing. And you're an example of that. I started to be an example of that, and I'm still on that journey. But man, kudos to you and anybody else.
thank
You
you
can
for
do it.
that.
You can do it too, because we need it. We all need
Kind
it.
words, Icy. Oh, bro, like I really enjoy hearing these words because they are both encouraging and they are like, have you ever been pissed off at someone for the right reason? Like, like something like that. Now, Icy, let me ask you something, bro. Uh, I know that the Web3 gamer channel and you stopping the Central Games content creation,
Hmm.
uh, they like meet at some point in this timeline,
Yeah.
and then suddenly they split again, and you came back as brand ambassador. So talk to me a little bit more about it, like because I remember seeing you playing Illuvium, Blancos,
Yeah.
Roach Killer playing with you guys, and then all of a sudden you were back and you were kicking ass, and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would sum it up like this. I've just been following my curiosity this whole time. So I really got into ice poker. I fell in love with the game first and foremost. It's an easy game to fall in love with because it's poker. It's built off of poker, but again, they built it really well in the metaverse, Decentraland, and in a crypto fashion. So, oh my god, I love that. So kudos to the team. I fell in love with the team. But my curiosity was like, hey, what is this play to earn thing? What is this like? How much money could you make? So I was really playing a lot and streaming a lot. I was playing like, I was streaming 60 to 70 hours a month from like April until August.
Full-time job.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, part-time, right? Like 20 hours a week, or yeah, something like that. So
Because just the streaming, I like, if I'm correct, streaming is
yeah,
just a part of
yeah,
what you're doing, because
true.
you need to do background checks, you need to do field research. There's a
Well,
lot of
well,
things to involve for you to be able to create the content.
for sure, for sure. But a lot of that was just playing ice poker. I'd hop on and play for 7 hours back before you had before you had the challenge that changed. But I was like really curious, like how much money could someone make playing ice poker? So I tracked it all in spreadsheets, and
Yeah,
I wanted a
Excel.
really big database or data set to like look at. So I tracked it all, and I actually posted this like publicly. I posted my
Mhm.
stats from like June, August, July, things like that. And it got to the point where I just was spending a lot of time
I
uh
saw
on
that tweet. I
on
saw that
ice
tweet.
yeah, on ice poker. And obviously the token was crashing a bit, so the monetary like value of it was decreasing, even though we weren't cashing out at the time. We were just like leveling up our wearables at the time.
Hmm.
um but I had broader interests and curiosities beyond ice poker. I really fell in love with the web3 gaming ethos, and I wanted to explore that a little bit more. So I got to the point where I realized I was spending too much time on one game. So I had to stop that and spread my wings a little bit. So that's what I did, where I started the Web3 gamer brand. I started a podcast and like a weekly news show just to learn more about the all of the other Web3 games,
Yeah.
and follow that curiosity. But I always loved ice poker for sure. Like, don't get me wrong, but just spending 70 hours a week on a month on it, I couldn't justify it anymore. But yeah, then, I always stayed in contact with the team. I would share some ideas with them behind the scenes. And then they had their 1 year anniversary coming up. And I was like, hey, like, they were doing all these like, competitions and like monthly giveaways and stuff like that. And I'm like, you guys should really double down on like the content creator side. Like, if you're putting money into
For the
these,
community.
yeah, in the community, I was like, if you're putting money into these tournaments and stuff like that, like, Mr. Forbet should be like streaming this stuff. Like, you could probably do something with Bryson. I'm like, I would do it. Um, you
I've seen
know,
Fred do amazing things with the streaming as well. The guy's like fucking good playing poker, like super good. He's a killing machine. Like,
Shout out to Mr. Forbet. He is my
shout
OG.
out to him. He's like my chiefs, and
Yeah.
myself respect him a lot.
He is my OG, and I always give him credit for this on my streams. When I thought about streaming, I went to Twitch and I looked up ice poker to see if anybody was doing it, and I found Mr. Forbet and I found Full Send Degen, and I was like, okay, these guys were doing it. There's an audience for this, and they're doing it really well. So like, I can join in.
Mhm.
So literally, how you said I inspired you, they were the ones that inspired me, and yeah, I love Mr. Forbet. He's an amazing content creator and a great guy. So shout out you, Fred.
A great guy as well. He's funny,
Oh, he's
funny as hell.
hilarious. Oh, he's
Funny as
hilarious.
hell. I love his streams.
Yeah.
Now I see. So this is basically, we're talking like 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which in crypto it feels like 10 years, right?
yeah, this is like my name is Pixelia. I am 35 years old, and it's like 80-year-old dude. Like,
Yeah.
no, no, no. Yeah,
Same.
I feel you. But how was it that you came up with the um, the Gamers Choice Awards? Like,
Yeah,
how
great
was that
question.
process?
Great question. It's funny that you asked that, man. So the idea was, you ever have like one of those ideas in the shower that's like so good that you have to get out of the shower and like go write it down or like start working on it?
Yeah.
That's what happened, man. I was at the gym, like in the locker room, and the end of the year was coming up. This was like mid October. And I'm like, I was planning on launching the Web3 Gamer website. And
Mhm.
that was going to be like blog articles and news and, our shows and everything. And I was like, oh, like we should do like game of the year wrap up, top 10 games of the year kind of thing as a blog post. And then my content creator came in and I was like, oh, like, that's a fun idea. You can stream it. Like, let's get a podium. We'll wear a suit. We'll make it into this whole fun thing.
Like super formal thing.
Yeah. Like we'll read them out and stuff like this. We'll just have fun with it. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's a great idea. But like, it's too good of an idea to just do yourself for like a live stream. I'm like, we could get a venue. We could invite Bryson. We could invite like, all these people because there's people in Miami.
You
Like,
went big. Like
yeah, I'm like, like, no one is doing this. So like
yet.
we could be the first ones to do it. And I was like, that's really cool. That's really exciting. And I just started talking to certain people. They loved the idea. They wanted to do it. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So that it just started spiraling from there. And here we are. It's
Grew out
this
of
big
control.
thing. Yeah.
Like wow, like whoa, that happened fast. Like it
Yeah.
grew out of control fast. Like I
Yeah.
remember like our first interaction related this subject. I think it was you telling me something like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, holy shit, that's awesome." And
Yeah.
then like a couple weeks after, like here's the trailer.
Yeah.
Like a couple of weeks after, like here's the website, and then like here's the date.
Yeah.
Save your tickets, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is happening, Iceyy? Let me catch up, bro. What the hell?
It's so funny. Yeah, I think that was the response for a lot of people being like, "Bro, you went from this like little streamer like content creator and now you're hosting this big event? Like what the heck?" Yeah,
Yeah,
man, it's been wild.
yeah. I'm gonna go with you're a reptilian, bro.
No, no.
That's what a reptilian would say. That's exactly what a reptilian would say. So I see. Gamer's choice. Um, that's how you came up with the idea. That's
Yeah.
what brought you here to
Yeah.
start working on this, get it done, materialize it in real life. But like after organizing many events myself,
Hmm.
not of this magnitude, but I know what it takes to organize one. There's many balls in the air.
Yeah.
In your particular case, you will be awarding studios, creators, content creators. Like you went big. Like I
Yeah.
gotta respect you for that. Like you went
Thank
big.
you. Thank you.
Like yeah, I played by the same rules. Like go big or go home. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's it. So kudos to you for that. So you have all these balls in the air. But how was it that like the process for you to reach out to the studios making the games? Like I can see how the reaching out to the people creating the content may have not been such an issue
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
maybe the game creators they were an issue.
Yeah.
Maybe the studios, maybe some of them didn't want their game on this. Like how was that? Like what can you tell me about that experience?
Such a great question, Pixelia. Yeah, I love that. So before I answer your question, let me give a piece of advice that I've found uh, extremely helpful. So I don't know if you've ever seen Pumping Iron with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like
Yeah,
the old documentary.
documentary.
There's a portion.
Drafting one, right?
Yeah. There's a portion in it where he talks about his mindset, and he talks about a few concepts. One of them is visualization. One of them is like, visualizing yourself succeeding, visualizing what you want to happen, kind of manifesting it almost in a way, right? And sometimes that stuff is like a little woo woo, but like it's also true, man. Anyone who's ever dreamed big and gone after something, they had to believe in themselves and they had to see a vision, and then make that vision a reality. The second thing that he talked about was the value of deadlines. He's like, when you have a deadline, you you're like spurred into action because you don't have a choice. Like if you don't have a deadline, then things like fall by the wayside. Maybe you lose motivation or energy or something like that. But you know, in his case, right, he's got these competitions. The competition is on this day, so you have to
Mhm.
do everything.
He has to
You
show
have
up.
to, yeah, you have to do everything ahead of time to plan and make sure that you're successful on that deadline. So I've definitely struggled in my career, in my life, of like not achieving my potential, and because I've lacked certain things or whatnot. This event, now to get to your question, this event has been incredible because I've been operating on a higher level, and even surprising myself a little bit, but really kind of like, you know, the potential that I always knew or felt that I had, but it wasn't achieving. I've really been, you know, like
Getting it there.
yeah, getting it done on that level. And it's partially because of that deadline of like, hey, if I'm going to do this event, you know, in January, I need to find a venue in November. We need the
Yeah.
venue, we need this, we need that. So then there's a third piece that I want to give you. It's like, uh when you have no other option, like when failure is not an option, it's like you know, you ask for help, you reach out to the person, you send the DM. If you think about it for too long, like, oh, I got to craft the perfect message to ask them, like, you know, it's like, no, like, done is better than perfect. And that's how I've been able to achieve to prepare this event. Like I just asked, man, and it wasn't the perfect message, it wasn't the perfect DM. I've definitely made mistakes, but who cares? Like speed, you know, move quickly, and just, you can't fail. Like what's the worst thing that happens? They say no. Okay, fine, move on to the next one. So that's fundamentally how it's worked. But let me answer your direct question, right? You're right. You know, it was easy for Bryson. Bryson lives in Miami. He's like, oh, this is a cool event. No one's doing it.
Let's do
I'd love to be a part of it. The
it.
second one was I reached out to Michael Wagner on
Uh,
on Twitter. I just randomly cold DM'd him. I didn't even know if his DMs were open. He's the CEO of Star Atlas, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
just, and like I had a deadline of like, if I'm gonna do this event, we need to invite these games. So I just DM'd him, was like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing. Bryson like is gonna be involved. Like, you know, what do you think? And he's like, he read the DM, his DM was open, and he DM'd me back being like, yeah, I love it. I'm in Miami. Like, count me
Let's do
in.
it.
So I literally, you know, I started, there's another strategy, kind of start at the top. If you get the big guys, then, you know, everyone else will kind of follow. So I'm like, oh my God,
Fine.
Star Atlas is going to attend the event. That's huge. So then, yeah, I just sent out a lot of DMs. You know, and then I asked for help. I asked for help from, you know, some of the other creators, and whatever friendships I had. But a lot of it was like, yeah, cold DMs. And then it was like, okay, well, I have this event. So, you know, you got to put up the landing page, you got to put up the website, you got to have the trailer made so that people can see what
What you're
you're planning. And then, you know, it's all about that feeling. Like the first second that they go to the website, does this look cool? Does this look fun? Do I want to be a part of
the
that?
the tangible, the how
Yes.
tangible, how possible
Yeah. You got to make it real.
is. Look, I think that this brings us back to the being the first
Yeah.
when doing something.
Yeah.
Like because there's zero expectations,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be honest with you on this. I think that what you're doing, the fact that you're being the first to do this, will make such a huge difference in the space
Yeah.
because usually you are deeply impacted by your first experience on anything, right?
Yeah.
And if you have a crappy experience, like it sticks with you forever.
Yeah.
Now, this type of events in Web 2 environment, they are, no, they're like, I don't want to say a mafia, but they're like, they work like this, you know, it's
Yeah.
connections. Is like, I will not go there if you're not his friend. You
Right.
know, what Web3 degens, like, you know, we don't give a fuck. I think like the we don't give a fuck aspect of this equation Like as long as you're decent, that's all I care. Like I don't give a fuck
Mhm.
about anything else. Like if like what do you believe in? What, like as long as you're decent as a human being, like I
Yeah.
got you, bro. You
Yeah.
know, we don't
I
even need to agree. Like we don't even need to agree.
yeah.
And that's the most beautiful part.
Yeah.
Like you don't even need to agree with half of the people in this space to get their help.
Yeah.
You just need to be decent enough to ask. Like you said, just ask.
I love
Right?
that about the Web3 community. I completely agree, Pixelia, and I want to be a part of that. I want to contribute to that. And I want to keep pushing that forward. We're all in this together, and all boats rise with the tide. So like, it's a very supportive, very loving, very positive space to be in, and I hope that it stays that way. Because one, it's gaming. We're all here just to play games and have fun.
Mhm.
And like connect and escape a little bit, right? But then it's also like crypto, which it's like this new thing. It's this emerging thing. It's this thing that's going to be, growing. So we're all like, get to be a part of that journey. And I think we're all excited about it. So yeah, we're too small to like compete or like fight with each
No, no,
other.
no.
But even that, it's
You're
like,
not too small. You're the when you're the only player, you're big enough to
yeah,
play. That's it.
for sure.
Now, where I was going with my thread of thought is like you're setting a standard for people trying to do things like you afterwards.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing that the first event is organized by someone like you. Because what if this first event was organized, but like I don't want to put specific names because I am not like that, but let's say generic word. Let's say by some douchey, sketchy, scammy person, with low morale, low ethics,
Yeah.
or flexible ethics. So this would ultimately be like a nuclear bomb for the space. Like you will kill
Potentially.
a lot of hope in the process, or you can create a lot of hope in the process. You can make the fire burn brighter
Yeah.
and higher. And I think that this is the fact that it is you doing it with the amazing team of people you have surrounded yourself with. Juries, studios, creators. Like I was discussing with Milito yesterday. I told him like, no, let's look at his website again.
Yeah.
And he's like, why? Like, I just want to check his creators again because I just love this list. Like, even Mariana is there. so,
Yeah.
so it's like, dude, it's like the fact that you're getting support, and I gotta tell you this, and I gotta say it out loud so that people also are aware of this. The fact that you're getting support from the biggest player or one of the top five biggest players in the crypto space, which is the Central Games.
Mhm.
You're getting their full support,
Yeah.
right? The fact that you're getting support from the most notorious community members, like creators, and the most notorious studios and gaming creators. This means that, like, I'm not wrong in what I was telling you before. Like, they all see what I'm seeing. That like, and I agree with you. Call DMs. I don't know if you recall our first interaction. It was me. Hey, dude, my name is Pixelia. I want to interview you. This is it. Like, I think I didn't even say hi. Like, I was a douche. then I learned, like, oh fuck, I gotta be polite. Like, this is Twitter. People are sensitive. they will want to say like at least a good morning, maybe. So, hey,
Yeah.
good morning, dude. I got it. So, uh, but there is a reputation behind this, and I think that uh, we are that's our biggest asset in this space, right? Our
Mhm.
reputation.
Mhm.
So the fact that you have the support of literally everybody in the community, not everybody, like every aspect
Yeah.
of a Web3 ecosystem and a Web3 community, that speaks a lot for itself, bro. Like that's quite an accomplishment. Kudos to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been really fortunate. Thank you so much for the kind words, Pixelia. It honestly means a lot. My driving mission has been to give the industry the event that it deserves. Because I love, and it's a higher calling, it's a higher mission than just like myself. I love this space. I love the creators in this space. I love the games, developing and making these amazing games. I've been inspired by the builders who every day through bull market, bear market are here building and pushing forward to create experiences for all of us. So I wanted to do my small little part to contribute and to create a platform that can highlight all the incredible things that are happening in Web3 gaming. So that's what this is about. And to your point, man, listen, I've been the benefactor of people supporting me and, giving me a shot and giving me a chance. So it like, that's what we're all here together again. And that's what it's about. So when you reached out to me and you're like, hey man, I'm doing this show, I'd love for you to be a part of it. Like, say less, man, I'm here. And we can all collaborate and support and build each other. So it's a great lesson for you. It's a great lesson for me. I would share it with everyone else. Like, say yes to things, show up for people, support people, and then keep going and do your own version. If you've ever seen what is it? What's the
Jim
baseball?
Carrey's movie, the Yes guy, like the Jim Carrey movie.
That one too. Yeah, that's a great movie. But I was gonna go with Kevin Costner. I forget the movie. It's a baseball movie. But if you build, Field of
Oh,
Dreams.
Field of Dreams.
If you build it, they will come. And look at you, man. You're building your show, and it's an incredible thing. And here we all are to be a part of what you're doing. So
that's dope. And again, that I also appreciate the kind words.
Yeah.
What can I say? Like I really, like, those who know me know that, like, I'm literally just a boy having fun.
Hell yeah, same.
Like I'm just having my fun. I just wanna hang out. I just wanna meet cool people. Just wanna connect. Maybe help people in the process build their own projects. So that's why I'm here. I think that's why you're also here, and that's sick. Like I think that what you're accomplishing is amazing. So Iceyyy, the event will be happening tomorrow.
Yes.
There's a lot of expectations about it. I saw a couple tweets about who will be hosting it. Um, there's a lot of also logistics, like physical logistics, staff logistics, for this to happen.
Yeah.
We've covered idea, we've covered content. We haven't covered logistics. Now,
Yeah.
logistics is like this is what I do for a living. By the way,
Yeah.
I do logistics, and I both love it and hate it. There's always something going wrong, and there's always something to fix. So, how was the logistics of this whole thing for you, when getting the people on board to like physically be there, like with you, like more than the maybe economical retribution
Yeah.
towards them,
Yeah.
but like there's a lot of people not willing to put their face on something they don't believe in, me personally being one of them. I think you're also one of them. Like something that doesn't vibe with you, you're not there. So the fact that people are showing like this amazing avalanche of support, that like I'm just blown away, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking all these questions.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see next year Pixelia Awards.
Let's do it. I love it.
So
Whatever you do, I'm supporting, man.
the Pixelia Content Creators Awards. No, I'm just messing with you. I wouldn't know how to do it.
I'll help you.
Oh, that's good. So, but how was the getting the staff part, and finally, like how did you, like how were the award categories defined? Like,
Yeah. Great questions, man. I'll try to speak quickly to it. The logistics are tough, man. We are lucky because you're right. First mover advantage, this happening everyone got excited about it and wanted to be a part of it. Literally, Mythical Games is sending out like 6 people. They're sending like a couple people from Blanco's Block Party and a couple people from NFL Rivals, because they're like, this is cool and we want to be a part of it. So I got really, really lucky. And I do think it's because of that kind of first mover advantage, which is why the opportunity to do something like this was so great. But strategically, I picked Miami because there's already a lot of people there. Bryson, Johnny Hustlepedia. I know Jorge and Dr. JPEG have like done a lot of stuff in Miami. Again, Star Atlas was in Miami. Kagi was there in the beginning, but he's like moved to the DR now. So Miami is just kind of like the right place. It's a central kind of hub for a lot of these crypto events. So we did that strategically to make it easy and also like attractive for people. Like, hey, going to Miami in February,
Miami, baby.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
But the logistics of like everything else are really, really tough. If all we were doing was like having a show, it would be one thing, right? But we're live streaming it, and 2, we had this like whole voting panel, public vote, where we have to that's like a product in itself of like producing the awards. And we wrote a detailed blog post on Medium about like our voting process and how and why we did it. So I'll recap really quickly. We had 43 people, but we're up to 45 now. Gamers, researchers, analysts. You mentioned Mariana's on the panel, Bryson. A lot of the people who have played these games talk about these games, and think about these games and talk about them on crypto Twitter every day. I wanted to get their opinion. I wanted, the consensus among the people that I look up to and I respect. Hey, what do you guys think as a collective is game of the year for 2022? So we had to like devise a whole Google form spreadsheet system. They all had to nominate 5 nominees for each category. We've got 18 categories, but the 18th category is like a write-in, 100% public vote. All the other 17 are like, best game of the year, most anticipated, best mobile game, things like that. So 43 people literally filled out a spreadsheet where they had to make like 85 decisions to nominate these games. We had over 3,000 votes that we had to tally up to get the final 5 nominations. So we wanted to do this like as right and as authentic and with as much integrity as possible. Of course, there's like still room for improvement, but we tried to do it the right way. And again, it's just to deliver the event, the best event possible. Because like, listen, I don't, for us to say, hey, this was the game of the year in Web3 gaming for 2022, that's a big deal. And I don't take that lightly. So I wanted to do everything I could to do it the right way. And yeah, so that's a lot of like management, a lot of late nights, designing the form, explaining it, reaching out to people, DMing them, answering their questions and helping them through it. Cause these people are busy, they're busy. They got stuff going on. So thank you to the panel for taking the time to be a part of this. Because it was not easy, and I'm really grateful that so many people wanted to be a part of it and to contribute. But again, we got really lucky that it's kind of the first one, and it was like it's early, and people were excited. It's a cool idea. I've had a lot of momentum. This has really been like going with gravity, pushing a snowball down a mountain, and it just like picks up momentum because the idea is cool and fun, and people wanted to be a part of it.
I think that not only that, I see, like, I think the fact that it is you doing it has a lot to do with it.
Well, thank you.
It's not only momentum, bro. Like, if it wasn't such a nice person doing it, maybe it wouldn't be possible. So, like, don't take credit away from you yourself, because you are the one making this happen, bro.
I
So,
appreciate that. I don't know how true that is, but I will
nah, dude,
accept. I will accept.
I don't care how true or not you are willing to accept it is. Like, it just is.
Yeah, I
Like, you are
appreciate
the
that.
reason why this is a reality. A lot of
Yeah.
people were involved, but
Yeah.
ultimately this came from you.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
the person who planted the seed, and who water the plant and who nurture the plant. And
Well,
now the
thank you.
plant is out of control, which is good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you for doing this thing. Like, thank you for really for being here today. Thank you for allowing us to understand a little bit better about
Yeah.
the awards, about how they came up to be, and how they, how how they're gonna go. Because I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, I'm excited. So,
Guys,
uh,
tomorrow night, tune in 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you tune into the live show, you have an opportunity to join our private Discord channel where we're going to be giving away up to $1,000. So I think we're going to pick like 10 winners and give $100 out each. We're not going to do that during the show, but but the channel will only be open during the show. So you got to tune into the show, maybe get the secret passcode to get access to that channel. You can win $1,000, up to $100. It's going to be a cool show. Find out who Game of the Year is. See all your favorite creators on stage. It's going to be a lot of fun. And man, thank you so much for doing this. This is I love your show. I'm bullish on you. Keep going. Do not stop. You got big
we're not
things
stopping,
coming
bro.
for you.
We're not stopping, not even to take a break.
I love it.
Now, one last thing I see for a first timer here in the Central Games and the
Yeah,
Central End, what's your advice? Like, what are your
man,
words for them for a first timer?
have
This is
fun. Yeah, just have fun. Decentraland's great, man. The community and the culture that is existing in Decentraland is incredible. It's really something that inspires me. When I first got into it, I was like, what's going on here? I didn't know anything. And then I met people and I made friends that I'm still friends with today. We talk in Decentraland, we talk out of Decentraland. You talked about Ray, she's amazing. My buddy Tony, I just talked to him today. Literally my first clip on Twitch is going against this guy Tony at the ice poker tables. We did not know each other, and then he found my channel, and then he became a really good friend. He's in my Twitch channel all the time. We talk on Discord. So there are some incredible people in Decentraland building, creating. Shout out to Doki. She's an amazing 3D artist. Shout out to Nikki Fuego, the creator and founder of Vroomway, which is one of my favorite games. Shout out to Jared. He does a lot for the ecosystem. Love him or hate him. But dice games and all the things that are being built, Golfcraft. There's some incredible things being done in Decentraland. I know it's early, but I'm very bullish on what's going to happen there.
I love it, Iceyy. I really appreciate your time. I am glad to have had you here, bro. And I can wait for tomorrow. Like, let's see what happens.
I'm very
You have,
excited for tomorrow. Thank you so much.
you have a good one, bro. Thank you for being here, okay?
Anytime you
And,
want me on, man, I'm coming back
and
on.
I loved it. I can wait to see the awards, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, man.
Thank you,
We'll
bro.
talk soon. We'll talk soon.
Take care.